I'm sorry, I'm just thinking about how sexy it is when men have good dental hygiene. Okay. Okay.
Look, what is that?
I got you. I got you.
Okay, it is.
In a world where tomorrow's blockbusters reign,
And yesterday's classics are forgotten.
3 women intend to remember.
Hey everyone. Welcome to Millennials at the Movie House, the podcast where 3 friends watch older movies and review them from our modern everyday perspectives.
I'm Betsy.
I'm Tracy.
And I'm Serena. And today we're talking about Bring It On because it's my birthday.
Yes, so as you all know, for our birthdays, we each get to pick our own movies, and so Serena's running the show today.
Oh yeah.
And it's gonna be good times. The reason we are doing Bring It On, you're probably wondering, because that's a very recent movie in comparison to the movies that we normally do.
And very popular.
2000.
Very popular, yep. Is we, for season 2, we're starting to sprinkle in some movies that we grew up with, the nostalgia factor, as we're calling it.
Yes.
So, still kind of older movies in the sense that it hasn't been, it was from our childhood, from our teenage years. But
We're changing things up.
yeah, we're gonna start reviewing some of those movies. Not a ton, but some of those movies, yeah, be good.
And accidentally, we picked one that was smack dab on the dot of the centennial.
Yes, 2000.
So millennials, centennials. Just
And
saying.
yet it was 20 years ago.
It's crazy because I've seen that movie so
Actually,
many
that makes
times.
sense, yeah. Okay.
Yeah.
There was
it was
there
very
was voice
dated.
messages and or
She
answer
couldn't get
machines.
she couldn't get a
and-
hold of her boyfriend
Yeah.
for like weeks or
Yeah.
something.
Oh my gosh, I know, in the missed call on the answer machine. All right, quick synopsis. Betsy, go.
I hate you so much. All right, so cheerleading competitions are a thing in California, apparently. I don't know about you guys.
I think they're a thing, right?
It's different on the West Coast.
We didn't even have a football team. Well, they didn't either, but
Yeah. Anyway.
It's different on the West Coast, you're right.
Cheerleaders, Torrance is our main character. She is the new captain, and they're going to go to regionals and nationals, and they're going to win it for the 6th consecutive year. Turns out they find out that they have been stealing their routine from an LA team. The
Inner city
Clovers.
team.
Yeah.
Inner city team. And so they're like, crap, we have to come up with something original, but they haven't been original, so they don't know how to do that, and they have some mess ups, and they come out better people at the end.
Yeah, a couple mishaps along the way.
Missed the romance and the spirit fingers, but good job.
The romance. It's funny because I feel like the romance is kind of minor.
It is minor.
It's
it is minor.
there
but-
could have been more. Interestingly enough, had you Serena go on this, I actually would have probably been able to do a pretty good synopsis of this movie.
Yeah, that is.
Yeah, because I've watched it so many times. I have not watched it recently.
No. I was gonna say you had trouble remembering the ending.
Yeah.
You forgot who won.
I know.
That said, this is the first time that it's a movie that all 3 of us have watched.
Yeah.
So it was a much different experience than normal because
Yes.
none of us were trying to pay attention to the degree we normally
Yeah.
pay attention, which is both good and bad. But we were quoting and we were like, oh yeah, this part, and blah, blah, blah. Like we were talking.
I mean,
way
I was
more
definitely
than we normally do.
miming most of it out.
Oh yeah. I
From
was,
the
like,
from the
quoting most of it
tattoo
from, like, under the
removal
breath.
to the little
Awesome.
dances.
Oh wow. Yeah. That's okay.
So-
Got it all on mic.
I loved it. What did you guys think?
Oh, I mean, come on. Actually, from an objective perspective, there were some problems with it, but
Yeah.
that's not. I don't think anything was deal breakers. It's fun. It's a fun movie.
It is fun.
It's just fun.
High energy.
Yep. And I wrote, it was the first of its kind. Not necessarily like a teen movie, but this was the first one I remember of that like competition, those dancey type. You know what I mean? Like it was that, I don't know.
It did seem like it was the
after
first.
this, a lot came out. Like there were, I mean, how many? I think there's Bring It On.
Oh, right.
You know,
It's
a ton
a-
of Bring It
it's a whole
On.
franchise.
It wasn't none of the teen movie. Was there parts of it that were in this?
Oh, there was a lot of
Like
this
quotes, like,
taken
oh,
from.
it's already been brought in. That
yeah,
was definitely
that
from another
character is a
Yeah.
straight joke on this. Yeah.
Interestingly enough, I don't think I've seen I don't even remember there being more Bring It Ons.
Oh,
No,
yeah.
there were.
Oh,
Yeah, I don't think
They
I've
were,
seen
like,
any.
made-for-TV movies,
It was like
Okay.
we were the original like all I could think of was a Cinderella story. We saw the original one with
Hilary Duff.
Hilary Duff, yeah. And then there were like a million after that. So this was the first cheer dance competition one, I think, of this era, and then there was a bunch after it.
Okay.
Okay. Top of the marquee. What did everyone think? Favorite part, scene, movie, line, character, setting, etc.
May I go first?
Yes,
Yeah.
you may.
Because it's something that Tracy and I were talking about sporadically throughout the movie. You know what I'm going to say? Am I going to say the same thing you
No,
are?
well,
Okay.
yes, but I've got
Okay.
yeah.
And I think it's something that we weren't really paying attention to before this viewing, which was the sibling relationship between Missy and Cliff.
Yeah.
Because I think the obvious sibling relationship in this movie is Torrance and her younger brother,
Yes.
which is that quintessential
Stereotypical.
older sister, younger brother dynamic, which was very 80s and 90s. Like, that
Yeah.
was that.
Like, get out of here, jerk. And
Yeah.
we don't get along. And
Right.
yeah.
Whereas Missy and Cliff, it was more realistic.
Yeah.
They did actually have a very good relationship, but they still ragged on each other.
Yes.
But they were honest with each other and they talked to each other as equals.
Yes.
It was a good
Yes,
it's a
it
good
was.
sibling relationship.
And I have a stickler for believability of could they possibly be siblings? And they did. They kind of looked the same. They both had like dark features, dark hair, where I believed that they were siblings.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That was my favorite part.
You did mention it a few times throughout the movie.
Yeah.
And then it kind of like brought it to my attention. I'm like, oh yeah, that's...
Yeah, because they looked out for each other, and then like the reason she joined the cheer squad in the first place was because he was like, "Oh, you'll never do it," and she's like, "Oh yeah, I'm gonna do it,"
Which is such a brother thing. Like,
oh yeah,
that's how you
and
get
then
under her
when
skin.
when they won one of the competitions, he came up and gave her a hug, and it was very platonic. It was very natural, like good job type thing, which I appreciated because sometimes that line is like
because
blurry.
the actors are not siblings,
exactly,
so
exactly.
you have to play that. Yeah.
So yeah, good job. That was definitely my top 3 bets.
Yeah. Serena.
Okay. I hate to be, what's the word? Predictable.
So the word I thought she was going for.
But obviously, Spirit Fingers, that whole
classic.
Sparky scene. Right?
classic.
Sparky?
I
It's
think
classic.
people who haven't even seen this movie
Know
know the term spirit
Spirit
fingers.
Yeah.
And
It's-
that's where it came from.
Yeah.
The whole scene is just...
Ridiculous.
It's
fun.
so... I mean, there's a couple of things that we'll get into down the road, but that he said that were like... Maybe in 2000 I was laughing at it, but now I'm looking at it with, 34-year-old eyes, and I'm like, ooh, okay, we shouldn't... Now I know why that's, edited for TV.
Yeah.
So that whole scene when Sparky comes in and teaches them the routine,
It's hilarious.
it's so so freaking funny. And then, can I say another one?
Yeah.
I don't want to take your...
No, go ahead. Nope. You're not going
The cliff swing scene.
That was my second. So Betsy had my
So-
third. Serena had my second.
So cute.
Yeah.
You know what's funny? I always thought that scene was super awkward. Always.
It was a little bit awkward, but it was the nostalgia. Like when I was in high school, that's what I thought
okay,
was
yeah.
cute and romantic.
Yeah.
Like it's
Swinging
not
on the
really.
swings
Yeah,
and-
yeah. It really wasn't. No.
There's something about that scene that, like, I kind of was, I have not seen this movie in maybe a decade. And that scene, there's something about, it's a bright blue and like blue sky and green grass, huge, fancy ass yard, and,
Yeah.
in San Diego, because that's where they are. To think about
Yeah,
that.
these are rich people.
Yeah,
Oh my
and
God.
they had, they're like up on a mountain somewhere. And it's just, there's some innocence to it that I love, that I she's swinging on the swing, she's down in the dumps about some stuff that's going on with Cheer Squad, etc. And he just like comes in and swoops in and gives her that little nudge of encouragement. And yeah, he was going to wrap it with a kiss, but his sister totally C-blocked that and came out at the last minute. But it was just, they're so natural. I mean,
Yeah.
I think Jesse Bradford and Kirsten Dunst are good, really, really good
They
actors.
had good chemistry.
But they had great chemistry. It was natural, and it wasn't, it's the believability thing.
Yeah. I mean, I think it followed or precursed, I think it followed the toothbrush scene, which
It's-
all three of us were like, oh yeah, that
It's
scene.
so funny because I don't know how that. I think it's like kind of recently that people have rediscovered that scene. I've seen it pop up on
me
the
too.
internet within the past couple of weeks,
Yeah.
weirdly enough. And yeah, it's so flirtatious and romantic, and there's not a word spoke. I don't know. It's
no,
just
I
cleverly
agree with
done.
you. And again, I go back to my believability. One of my things is drinks. I hate when you can tell when there's nothing in a drink.
Oh my God,
and
I
they're
hate
pretending
that.
like at least put like an inch of water in it. You know what I mean? I hate
Yeah.
that. And then another one is whenever somebody on TV or movie is brushing their teeth, there's no soap. Like,
Yeah.
what are you?
There's no foaming.
Right.
There's no toothpaste.
So
Taste.
this was like a realistic toothbrushing, which I know sounds stupid, but I appreciate that.
True.
Anyways, yes, boys, dental health is important.
Yes.
Lesson of the day. You're welcome.
My favorite part.
Yes.
I mean, both of those were on my list. I can even show you. But the real favorite part, and
We were wrong.
You
This
were
is
wrong. This is the
best
actual
part.
and it's a little bit of a cheat, is that I like that things from this movie and quotes from this movie have seeped into our vernacular.
Yes.
Like, we say things because of this movie. Like
Yes.
we had said before for Spirit Fingers. I mean, I don't know how many times I've gotten in the car and said, I'll get the door tour. I don't know why.
Yeah.
He says parentals.
Parentals.
I say parental units I don't know why.
Is that
I
where
say
it came
that.
from? 'Cause I've
I
said
don't know.
that.
I don't know if it was just a thing you said. I mean, we've said, like, this isn't a democracy, it's a cheerocracy,
cheerocracy.
or like some variation of
You've
that.
quoted this
Even-
movie a bunch of
Yeah,
times.
Even
Yeah.
just like even the cheer that she has Alicia Dushku do
Yes.
in the audition.
Yeah.
Like, everybody our age knows that cheer.
and so I don't know, it's just one of those movies that we grew up with. Our generation, or our age group, know this movie. So if you say something from it, even if people haven't seen it in 20 years, it has stuck in their mind. So I that's why this movie has been hard to review, because of what we're calling the nostalgia factor.
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
Okay. I want to add just one thing.
Yeah.
The 2000s music.
oh yeah.
Oh god.
Absolutely. Jinx.
Yep.
You cannot go wrong. I mean, like,
Yeah.
the outfits too, the butterfly clips in the
Oh,
hair.
yeah.
I
And
mean,
what was
it's
the
total
the
nostalgia.
parachute pants?
Oh my god, yes.
And when Eliza Dushku steps on the scene and she's wearing that chain.
Oh yeah. The
Yep.
chain key wallet. Yep.
Mm-hmm.
Yep.
God. BAMF.
Yep.
Bamf. All right. Wheel of questions.
For this spin we landed on 6 degrees, which I'm going to explain the actual game, and then I'm going to explain our version of the game. The actual game, for those of you who don't know, 6 degrees of separation, 6 degrees of Kevin Bacon, is when you link an actor to another actor to another actor to another actor until you get to the final actor. So you have 2 actors on either end, and you want to try to link them somehow.
I think it's always been like every person is at least 6 degrees away from Kevin Bacon.
And that's, yeah. So
Oh, that's a real thing. I thought you guys
Yeah.
just made that
No,
up.
it's like a
It's
legit,
a
like, game.
It's a game.
As an example, so first off, for our purposes, whenever we play this game, we're gonna take the main character of the previous episode and the movie from the previous episode and the main character from this episode and try to link them. So in this case, it's Kirsten Dunst for Bring It On and Ken Marshall for Krull, which is interesting. If we were to play it the real way, the answer would be, ladies and gentlemen, are
Yeah.
you ready?
Yeah.
Kirsten Dunst starred in Elizabethtown with Orlando Bloom.
Mm-hmm.
Orlando Bloom starred in Kingdom of Heaven with Liam Neeson. Liam Neeson was in Krull with Ken Marshall. Boom.
Ooh, wow. Of course, Liam Neeson.
Yeah, I
yeah.
forgot.
Completely forgot about that.
That's the
I
trick.
was
You pick
going
the most
right to
famous
Ken
person.
Marshall compared to
Any of the
like,
co-stars.
any of the famous people. Okay, good job.
Wow.
So,
that's why. That's why. That's why we.
Nicely done.
That's why we were.
I know,
That's why
I
we
know.
were.
Anyway, the way we're going to play it is we are going to bring in our creativity, our previous episodes, most importantly.
Yep.
People who remind us of other people that we've mentioned in previous episodes.
Yep.
We get creative. We're gonna get as creative. If
we-
there's a link to be found, we
Yep.
will find
Find
it
it.
and we will use it
Yep.
in a
Yep.
creative way. Okay. So the fun rules version, I have Kirsten Dunst is married to Jesse Plemons.
Oh, I don't think I knew that. Good job.
Do you know who he is?
No.
She did marry a Jesse, just not Jesse Bradford.
I think they're married. At least they're together.
Yeah.
Jesse Plemons was in Game Night with Rachel McAdams, who was in Doctor Strange with Benedict Cumberbatch, who was in the Avengers universe with Chris Pratt and Kurt Russell. Kurt Russell being in Guardians of the Galaxy 2, who was our lookalike for Ken Marshall in Crow.
Nicely done.
Yeah.
Okay.
Wait, who was our lookalike? Bam, bam, bam.
Kurt Russell.
Kurt Russell. Oh, yeah. Okay.
All right.
The end.
This one's a stretch, so it might be rejected, but I have a backup.
I feel like I need to have like a buzzer. Be like,
Yes.
yeah. Wrong.
Yep. So, Kirsten Dunst was in Bring It On with Jesse Bradford, who plays Cliff, who makes her hair a mixtape just like Chris Pratt gets in Guardians of the Galaxy, who we said looked just like Ken Marshall in Crow.
Nice.
And if that was too much of a stretch, but I approve because it's a mixtape. Yes, this is how old this movie is, where like a crush or like a boyfriend would make you a mixtape. I mean that like
It wasn't-
And like his own, its own music.
It was
That's
his
true.
music.
Ooh,
it wasn't
you're
even a
right.
mixtape. It was his music.
Oof.
Oh,
still.
that's where the that comes in.
Yeah, you're right.
Did she just do a buzzer
You're right.
on yours?
Okay, she did a buzzer. Ready? Here's my backup.
All right, here's your back.
She has a backup.
Kirsten Dunst in Bring It On with Sparky Spirit
like
Fingers.
Clue.
Right. With Sparky
Polanski.
played by Ian Roberts, who was in several episodes of Parks and Rec with Chris Pratt,
Nice.
Guardians of the Galaxy. Well,
We're very focused on
Let's-
Chris Pratt to Kurt Russell.
yeah. So there we go.
Those are known
Wait,
names.
you guys are killing it today. Let's go. All right, girls.
All right, Serena,
All right.
give us the grand finale.
Okay. Kirsten Dunst is in Bring It On with Jesse Bradford. Jesse Bradford is in Swim Fan with Sherry Appleby, who is in Unreal with Constance Zimmer, who was the voice of Strongarm in Transformers Robots in Disguise, which leads us to the original Transformers with Shia LaBeouf. He's in Indiana Jones 4 with Harrison Ford, who I thought looked like Ken Marshall in Krull. God, wow, that was really hard.
That was long, but that was great. That was good.
15 degrees from
Nope,
the truth.
I love it. I love it. And I like that you used a different character, because we said you had thought it was Harrison Ford.
Yeah.
Good job. That's my favorite game thus far.
Yeah, that's a fun game.
All right.
Wait a minute.
How has this movie influenced or been influenced by other movies?
I mean, I feel like Tracy already brought it up in
Yeah.
the sense that the quotes and the words that came out of it are just here to stay for our generation. And then obviously we have to talk about Not Another Teen Movie,
Yep.
which is
Another classic. Because again, well, no, Scary Movie came first, but I think this was the next, like,
big.
big
It was the next
spoofy
big
one.
spoof.
And I think it was one of the ones that did really well compared to some of them have just not done well.
It gave us our first Chris Evans.
It did. Yeah, obviously.
Very
Oh my
dark
gosh,
Chris
that's
Evans.
right.
Yep. I have to mention, I feel like this is the precursor to Pitch Perfect. So you've got like the new person coming in who doesn't really want to be there, but then ends up being friends with the popular girl. They have a cheer off between like, you know, all of a sudden they know cheers to like battle each other, which they have like a, what is it called? An acapella off or a sing off?
Oh yeah, and then like they always have the same old routine, and they have to change it up so
Yes.
that she's like, oh, we can do this.
Yeah.
Same
you're
storyline.
right.
Then they
Same
have
story.
that tryout montage where you
Yeah.
have the good people and the bad people.
It's the best scene in all of Pitch Perfect.
Yes,
I know.
it is. It is. Which so Pitch Perfect definitely like, you know, made it a little bit better. That scene at least. There was issues with Pitch Perfect. We're not talking about Pitch Perfect. We're talking about Bring It On. Anyway,
don't even get me started.
Yeah. So that's all I could. I had never seen the connection before until watching it this time through, kind of with like a critical eye. But there, yeah. So
Yeah,
there you
that's I never would have thought of comparing those two, but you're right. It's basically the same plot line.
go. Yeah.
Huh.
Well, did it remind you of any movies?
I don't know why 10 Things I Hate About You always pops in my head. I don't
It's
even
that
know what
era.
it is. It's like the high
that
school
era.
scene.
And like the fashion.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. Butterfly clips.
Yep.
I think I bought butterfly clips after seeing Bring It On like 30 times.
I definitely had them. I could never like figure out.
They broke. Mine
yeah,
broke.
Yeah.
Going back 10 things, it may have reminded you of it because of Gabrielle Union.
Oh, right.
yeah.
Yeah, that probably is why. I love her.
I think those are the only things that popped out for me, which is
I mean, like I said, there's follow-up Bring It Ons.
right.
And
right.
and we've got Cheer. Isn't that a thing
I
everyone's
was
like
gonna say,
obsessed with now?
I feel like there's like an entire almost like subgenre of just cheer related TV shows and movies, and
But
this is like one of the first ones.
Yeah, but the TV show Cheer, I think our generation is watching now because of Bring It On.
Oh,
but that's
okay.
just
All right.
that's my
Fair.
theory.
Ladies, please remove your hats and silence your cell phones. How did this film hold up?
We have Les, who is buying this, who was like, oh, I go for, whatever. And that was, I mean, they were made fun of, but so were the straight guys were made fun of for cheering. But I kind of felt like all the girls were very accepting and everything. So
Yeah.
it wasn't that great, and I have issues with it. But I feel like this was the seed or the start, not this movie, but this generation, I think, was the start of...
I think you're right. I think it was this was the generation where we're okay putting it in film more so than before, but there still are the microaggressions, which is where our conversation is being led to nowadays.
Yeah.
And I mean, there's some very overt things said in this movie, you know.
They were still using bad words as an insult.
Yeah,
and
they
the F
were.
word and the D word. The R word was used once.
You know, like
a couple times actually.
I was
And
just yeah.
What else did? Oh yeah. They were trying, but they weren't trying hard enough. It was the time period. They also had, which I was surprised that it was a female writer because of all of the very overt
Jan, basically.
Yeah, like this over.
Oh, and the announcer.
no,
It
I
was
have
very
that in there.
sexual and like sexist and I don't know.
But that said, that's where I'm curious. I'm curious how realistic it was in that sense, because I feel like in 2000, the announcer could have gotten away with saying that in real life.
Absolutely. It was very like any of this stuff. All of this stuff was very timely.
Right.
Like that.
Right.
That was where we were in 2000.
Yeah.
Like that was.
Well, and it's funny. I mean, I was saying it during the movie. I haven't seen this movie uncut in decades, because we're always watching it on TV and they're always cutting those parts.
Yep.
Because it's not acceptable to have those words on TV. So
Yeah.
So it's not really an issue with this movie because I never watch it unless it's on TV.
So I feel like this falls under we give things a pass by the era it was in.
Mm-hmm.
So I think this was a good representation of the time period.
Yeah.
Watching it now, are all of these things kosher? No.
It's
Interesting.
Yeah.
exactly.
So how does this film hold up? I will say this was actually a really interesting case study for appropriation.
Yeah.
Which is, you've got the rich white kids going into the inner city to steal these routines, and even the trying to make it right, the stages of that where they tried to give charity and they tried to give them money and kind of just like brush the problem away, and the response was no. I want to be heard.
I want to beat you fair and square.
Right. So it was an interesting little case study about that, and that is very much in the conversation today.
Yes.
I used to watch this and just eat popcorn as like not like mindless background, but just you never look at it with a critical eye.
But here we are.
Critical eyes.
Yeah.
Boom. We fixed it.
Boom.
So, aside from getting rid of some words that we were talking about, some situations that were problematic, Jan. If it was made today, I feel like we would have had a stronger Clover perspective. We would have had more scenes with them. Gabrielle Union would have been a second main character, and we would have seen the dynamic between the differences.
Scenes.
The other thing I want to bring up, which Tracy brought up at the beginning of the movie was the style of acting would have changed, would be different nowadays. So at the beginning of the movie, the one of the scenes where it was all the cheerleaders talking, Tracy, you said this felt blocky. It felt
Yes.
staged and scripted and whatnot, which it did. It was almost exaggerated in a
Yeah.
weird way. And the all the scenes where the cheerleaders were talking, it was weird.
It
with the exception of
was?
Gabrielle.
It was
Yes,
super,
was.
super.
You could
It was
see-
super scripted.
So you could see her age and her acting was elevated compared to the others. However, now that I've thought about it, I almost want to say it was a style.
Right, that's
Like-
what I'm saying.
Oh, okay.
It was purposeful.
I should pay attention to what Betsy's saying.
So Gabrielle, it should be stated too, like just as a side note, Gabrielle Union was a decade older than Kirsten Dunst at the time,
28, yeah.
versus 18. Which I mean, they're both amazing actresses,
Right.
but
Right,
what
no,
is
I'm just saying,
different?
like, there was
I will
more
say-
development.
I will say, I think Kirsten Dunst was acting as long, if not longer, than Gabrielle Union at this point. Anyway, like she's
Yeah,
a child
yeah.
actor.
Oh,
She's
yeah,
been in
yeah.
Hollywood.
Right. Interview with a Vampire.
Vampire. So, but I think you're right. I think it was purposeful, and we have a very different style of acting nowadays. It's
Yeah.
not, and it's not even just the acting; it's the writing as well, and
Yep.
the directing and the cinematography, everything. It's much more natural. We expect more realistic conversations,
Right.
and because of that, suddenly watching a 20-year-old movie that we still qualify as modern day, it was like, oh, wait a minute.
Yeah.
It was very different.
I didn't check the budget on this film. I wonder if they were
It was big budget.
really.
Oh, yeah.
Okay.
Because all those were all real cheerleaders.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like they were.
yeah.
They had to hire
a
a ton
ton
of
of
yeah,
people.
yeah.
I just want to say, side note, I think the reason I love this movie so much, there's a few reasons, but I think one of the reasons is Eliza Dushku, girl crush. Total girl crush.
hated
I
her
don't
in
like,
Buffy. I loved her in Dollhouse. Dollhouse. I miss Dollhouse.
we're going to watch
Miss
it
Dollhouse.
if you want to watch it with me.
I mean, I feel like I have a tally of how many times Serena has said dollhouse. So
So I didn't love her in this movie as I liked her. I didn't love her acting or her character in this movie as much. Sorry to like completely deter
go
here,
for it.
but I loved her in Buffy. She was a BAMF, and then I of course was absolutely obsessed with her in Dollhouse.
I feel like I love to hate her in Buffy. So
exactly.
She's the
at first I'm like, oh, who is this? And then I respected her acting and her, her character and her flaws and stuff. And then she becomes like a good guy, doesn't she?
She does.
5x5.
So yeah, that's how I would fix it.
I didn't have like a thing because I was so stuck on it was such a point in time.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But yeah,
Nostalgia.
you are right. Those were the right answers. Good job, Bets.
Thank you.
Those
Thank you.
were the right
They were
answers.
the right answers.
Everything Betsy said. That's my boom. Ladies, note roundup.
I was like, no,
Well,
we've
the
already
wrong
did that.
part.
Oh yeah, okay. Ready? Bring It On, 2000. Bring It On, All or Nothing, 2006. Bring It On, Fight to the Finish, 2009. Bring It On Again, 2004. Oh, why is it out of order? And Bring It On, In It to Win It, 2007. That's all. That's all I wanted to share.
Okay.
Of how many Bring It Ons there was.
Yeah, that's a lot. Anyone have any favorite quotes?
Oh, I didn't write any.
I wrote down the one because remember how you were like there was that one from earlier that did you write
Yeah.
that down? I didn't, but I just know it.
Okay.
I
gosh,
then
all right.
did write it down. Jan's got spirit. Yes, you do. Jan's got spirit. How about you, dude? You just lost.
Oh, right.
It's the best.
Yeah,
I love it so much.
It's the best comeback. Because what do you say? Like,
It is like I don't need to defend myself.
Right.
You guys are bad.
right.
Like,
Yeah. Yep.
Yeah, terrible football team. So, Tracy, what do you have for notes roundup?
I didn't. I mean, it was just like this movie was just. Yeah.
Fun.
Yeah, it was just fun. Like,
was
like,
fun.
Like
I loved
all
it.
the quotes that I would have written down. We know.
Yeah.
Like spirit fingers and. I've said it like 3 times now. I'll get the door tour. I'll get the door tour. I don't
my
know
God.
why.
I
that's
forgot
the
about
one.
that.
That
Like,
one stuck
I know.
with you.
I don't
That's a
know why.
weird one.
I know. I think because it rhymes. I don't know.
What about, I guess you're just not boyfriend material.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. I knew
Bye-bye.
that. Yeah. Bye-bye. I knew that one too. I love the middle finger of Missy when she takes off the tattoo. I think is just so just
classy.
it's classic. No, not classy. It's just like classic to this movie. It was like, this is the introduction of this character.
Yeah. I have one more comment to make, which is the names.
Oh yeah. Well, this is because money and they live in California.
I guess so. Because
What names? You mean the...
all of them.
Yeah, Torrance.
Torrance, I started writing them down. Carver was the one who broke her leg at the beginning. Carver.
Yep.
Torrance, Cliff, Missy, Jan. And then I also put
Lava.
LaFred.
LaFred.
It was just I had never heard these I have never heard these names outside of this movie, basically.
Yeah.
Or like if I have, like, Cliff is like an 85-year-old man.
Yeah.
Or a Cliff Bar. It's a great snack.
But even
Or,
like Darcy's a little bit interesting. Les. Lava.
Courtney is the most normal name, and
Yeah.
Whitney is actually pretty normal too.
Yeah.
Why those two got the normal names, I do
Sparky's-
not know.
Sparky's not normal?
I imagine Sparky's a nickname.
I didn't even think about that. Are we ready for
Yeah.
the martini shot? Betsy, would you recommend this movie?
No. Of course.
Trey?
I would too. I would, preface the nostalgia like, yeah, absolutely. This is a hilarious movie.
It's quintessential 2000s.
Yeah, it is.
Yeah.
Obviously, I picked it for my birthday. I think everyone knows that was a recommendation right there. Me
I want to
recommending to you
say,
guys.
throwback to our first official podcast. I think we were talking about Bring It On then because we were comparing Kirsten Dunst to Greta Garbo.
Yep, the cheekbones
Yep.
and something about her face.
Yeah.
I still loved it. I think it's a nostalgia thing. There are some things that needed some tweaking, but honestly, like, I'll watch it again next week.
Going into this, I had given you a list of like nostalgia movies we could do, and I said, be careful because if you pick a movie you love, we might rip it. We might tear it a new one, and we might not objectively like it.
We might not look back.
Fair warning.
So then the question is, Serena, did we ruin this movie?
No.
No?
No,
Okay.
you guys didn't ruin it. I actually was afraid that I was going to be watching with critical eyes and ruin it for myself.
Yeah.
I kind of had faith that you guys would like it. I don't remember it having so many offensive words, probably because I've seen the TV version many a times.
Right.
But yeah, I think I'm actually surprised you both still. I'm not surprised. I'm happy you both like it.
Yeah.
Because
Yeah.
this is one of the 2000 to probably all through 2004, all through high school, I watched it trillions of times.
Yeah. Wow, 3 of 3. We didn't ruin the movie.
No, it
Successful
Yeah,
day.
no.
Successful Sunday, girls.
Bring it. To be honest, I never in a million years when we started this podcast did I think that we would be doing Bring It On. But you know what? I approve.
I'm a big fan. Thanks for joining us. If you like what you hear, you can find more great episodes over on our website, www.millennialsatthemoviehouse.com, or wherever you find your podcasts. Curious about updates, extras from our episodes, or want to add your 2 cents about a reviewed movie? We're also on Twitter and Instagram. Our handle for both is @themoviemillies. Check us out and make sure to follow us. So until next time,
We're millennials.
And we'll see you at the movie house.
Hey, Mickey, you're so fine. You're so fine. No? Okay, she
I'm
already
not
cut
doing
it.
it. You can do it.
oh, Mickey, you're so fun. You're so fun. You blow my mind. Hey, Mickey. Hey, Mickey. All right, good enough.